Yes, sir. Oh. Is that my client? Is that the thing, right? That's fine. Okay, but I don't think the other one's on Zoom yet. Oh,
We did a separate Zoom for her.
yeah, I put it on there. Can you get a chance to look for the speeding, the one that with the fines, that deals with the fines?
Okay.
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 Court calls cause number 241-1000-120, State of Texas versus Pablo Martinez Contreras. Ms. Contreras, if you can please stand up and just be right here by the microphone. Yes, sir. Please raise your right hand. No, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Do you swear? Okay, you can put your hand down. You are Pablo Martinez Contreras. Mr. Contreras, you are charged with the offense of failing to yield right of way at an intersection, causing an accident alleged to have occurred on November 12th, 2024 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. Are you aware of that charge? And do you understand it? Okay, Mr. Contreras. Before I go any further, there's some important things I need to let you know. Every case that's heard out of this court is a Class C misdemeanor. The fines normally do not exceed $500. You have the right to have a jury determine your guilt or innocence. You can waive your right to a trial by jury. You can have a trial before the court, which is me. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will not be appointed to you because there is no chance of jail time in these cases. But an attorney can help you understand the law, can help you understand procedure, and can help you make decisions regarding your case. If you choose to go forward without a lawyer, I have no choice but to hold you to the same standard as if you were an attorney. You also have the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You do not have to testify in your case against yourself. It's the state's burden to prove their case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. As you sit there today, you are innocent until proven guilty. Do you understand this?
Wait, so the fine, what was the fine for?
You're being charged with failing to yield right away. And we're going to get into that in a minute. But do you understand that those rights that I just told you?
Yeah.
Okay. Other things I need to let you know, there are consequences beyond this courtroom. For instance, if you are charged with not having insurance, you could be subject to surcharges from the state of Texas in addition to fines and costs from this court. If you have a question whether your particular charge has consequences beyond this courtroom, I strongly suggest you talk to a lawyer. If you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could affect your status in the United States. If you find yourself in this situation, I strongly suggest you consult a lawyer. Finally, if you are unable to pay a fine and court cost, if I order you to pay that, there are other ways to meet your obligation. There's a form that you can fill out. If I find that you qualify, I could put you on an extended payment plan. I could have you do community service, or I can do a combination of those things. The point being is just because you can't pay right now doesn't mean there's not something else we can do so you can be in compliance, okay? So the way this is going to work, Mr. Contreras, I'm going to let you know once again what you're being charged with, and then I'm going to ask you, how do you plead? You're going to have three choices. You can plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest. A plea of guilty and a plea of no contest, those are basically the same thing, and then I'm going to find you guilty, and then I'm going to go to the punishment portion of the case. The difference is that when you plead no contest, is what you're telling the court is that you're not saying you did it, you're not saying you did do it, you didn't do it. You're just not contesting the charges. But what you're also telling the court is that there's enough evidence before the court this time to substantiate a finding of guilt. The other difference is that if you plead no contest, if they try to use that in a civil court to prove liability, to prove that you're at fault for something, they won't be allowed to. If you plead guilty, they might be allowed to use that as proof of your guilt, of your liability. Okay? Any questions?
Yes, sir. How much is the fine for?
The fine on this, Mr. Contreras, is $179.90. Court costs are $150. The total is $329.90. Okay, I got some other things I need to let you know. Hold on, if you plead not guilty, then you can talk to a prosecutor. The prosecutor can do a number of things, from negotiating a plea bargain agreement to dismissing the case if he feels that it's warranted. The point is that the prosecutor is the one that brings the case on behalf of the state of Texas. So he has the ability to do a number of things. A lot of times people come to the judge wanting to tell the judge this, that, or the other. I can't do anything other than listen to your plea. And during trial, I can listen to the evidence and then I can find you if you're guilty or not guilty. Okay? But a prosecutor can listen to what you have to say. If you're able to resolve your case with him at that time, the case is over. If you're not, then you have the ability to go to a trial, whether it's in front of me, the judge, or in front of a jury. Okay? All right. Any questions before we go any further?
Well, I think I'll go ahead and pay the fine.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you some questions first, okay? As to the charge of failure to yield right away at an intersection causing an accident alleged to have occurred on November 12th, 2024 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. As to that charge, how do you plead, Mr. Contreras? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest? Okay, I'm gonna have you plead no contest, okay? That, because there was an accident here, but you want to plead no contest? Okay. What's today's date, Mike?
21st.
Court will accept your plea of no contest. It's going to be a fine of $179.90, cost of $150, for a total of $329.90. I'm going to place you on what's called deferred disposition for 90 days, meaning, Mr. Contreras, if you pay what I ask you to pay, don't get any other tickets, this case will get dismissed. Okay? When can you pay the $329.90, Mr. Contreras? By when can you pay it?
Today.
You pay it today?
I'm gonna get my daughter to, I'm gonna pay it, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna give you 30 days. Okay? And if you pay it today, well, then it's already done. But
Maybe tomorrow.
okay,
I got 30 days to pay.
but I'm gonna give you time to do it, okay? Okay, if you go to the front windows, Mr. Contreras, she'll take care of you, okay? Thank you. No, just on Zoom. Yeah, so we'll let Epi keep on talking to people.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and call your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
Court calls number 241-100-0094. State of Texas versus Sarah Callista Cordova. Ms. Cordova, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. You are Sarah Callista Cordova?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cordova, you are charged with the offense of disregarding an official traffic control device alleged to have occurred on or about November 8th, 2024 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. Are you aware of this charge?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some things I need to let you know before we go any further. This is a municipal court of record, which means that everything that's being done here today is being recorded. Not only is it being recorded on the Zoom platform, but it's also being recorded live in the courtroom. The fines in this court usually do not exceed $500. Every case that's heard out of this court is a Class C misdemeanor. You have the right to have a jury determine your guilt or innocence. You can waive your right to a trial by jury. You can have a trial before the court, which is me. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will not be appointed to you because there is no chance of jail time in these cases. But an attorney can help you understand the law, can help you understand procedure, and can help you make decisions regarding your case. If you choose to go forward without a lawyer, I have no choice but to hold you to the same standard as if you were an attorney. You also have the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You do not have to testify in your case against yourself. It's the state's burden to prove their case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. As you sit there today, you are innocent until proven guilty. You understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay, some other things I need to let you know. There are consequences beyond this courtroom on certain charges. For instance, if you are charged with not having valid insurance, not only could you be subject to fines and court costs from this court, but you could be subject to surcharges from the state of Texas. If you have a question whether your particular charge has consequences beyond this courtroom, I strongly suggest you consult a lawyer. If you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could affect your status in the United States. If you find yourself in this situation, I strongly suggest you consult an attorney. Finally, if you are unable to pay a fine and court cost, if that is ordered, there are alternative means to payment. There is a form that you can fill out, and if you qualify, there's a number of things I can do, from placing you on an extended payment plan to having you do community service in lieu of fine and cost, or a combination of those things. The point being is, just because you're not able to pay at this time doesn't mean there's not other things you can do to satisfy your obligation. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to read your charge to you once again. I'm going to ask you, how do you plead? You're going to have three choices. You can plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest. A plea of guilty and a plea of no contest are essentially the same thing, and then I'm going to find you guilty and then move to the punishment portion of the case. When you plead no contest, what you're telling the court is that you're not saying you did it, you're not saying you didn't do it, you're just not contesting the matter. But you're also telling the court that there's enough evidence before the court at this time to substantiate a finding of guilt. The other difference is that when you plead no contest, if someone tries to enter that plea of no contest as evidence in a higher court to prove liability, more than likely it will not be allowed. As where if you enter a plea of guilty, it may be allowed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you plead not guilty, then your case will be set for a pretrial. At that pretrial, there will be a prosecutor present representing the state of Texas that you will be able to speak to if you so choose. The prosecutor is the individual who brings the case on behalf of the state, and he has the ability to do a number of things, from negotiating a plea bargain agreement to recommending dismissal of the case if he feels that it's warranted. The point being, is the prosecutor who brings the charges, and that's the best time to try to get your case resolved. The only time the judge can listen to the facts of a case is during a hearing with the prosecutor present or at the trial of the matter. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions?
No, sir. Not at this time.
Okay. Once again, you are being charged with the offense of disregarding an official traffic control device, to wit, a stoplight alleged to have occurred on or about November 8th, 2024 in Robstown, Nueces County, Texas. As to this charge, how do you plead?
No contest.
The court will accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to place you on 90 days deferred disposition. What that means, Ms. Cordova, is that if you do what I ask you to do and you pay what I ask you to pay in the time frame that I ask you to do it in, don't get any other violations, the case will get dismissed.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's going to be a fine of $114.90, costs of $150, for a total of $264.90. By when can you pay this off, Ms. Cordova?
I'm sorry, you said it was $264.90?
Yes, ma'am.
Probably within like the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 30 days.
I appreciate that.
Okay. All right.
Do
Ms.
I need to make it, I'm sorry, do I need to make it out to the municipal court or,
Yeah, what I'm gonna ask you to do is when we hang up here, I'm gonna need you to call the municipal court. The phone number is on your citation. You're gonna talk to the clerks. They're gonna give you instructions on what you need to do as far as signing paperwork, what to do regarding payment. Okay, so it's very important that you call at some point today. Okay?
yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. As soon as we hang up, I'll call them. I
Okay,
appreciate
yeah.
you meeting with me
No problem.
over
You have any
Zoom.
questions?
No, sir. Just again, I appreciate you meeting with me over Zoom.
Yes,
And
ma'am. You have a good day, okay?
thank you to Your Honor.
You're welcome.